Hi, I'm Ian from footballboots.co.uk, and today we're looking at the new King silo from Puma, officially going to be called the King 2. It's launched this week and it's the second generation addition to the King that was launched in 2013. The King is Puma's most iconic boot. It's been worn by the likes of Johan Cruyff, Diego Maradona, Paul Gascoigne, Lothar Matthäus, Eusebio, Pele, you name it. If they were a big name in football, back in the day they wore the King. The King is back. Let's take a look at these. So first impressions of the King 2, they give you a world-class fit really, and great feel right out of the box. Now as this is a heritage boot, you're going to get the super soft leather upper, in which it just feels sensational. It's a bit like the upper on the Adipure 11 Pro 2. The leather has got several layers to it for giving you the highest comfort, and there's additional stitching in on the upper in the forefoot here, and that will just give you a bit more protection and comfort around that area. Now if you want a tight fit with the King, you want to go true to size. If you want something a little looser, you might want to go half a size larger. When you get these, make sure you realize that they are going to fit a little bit tight initially, and then they will stretch and mold to your foot after you break them in, and that's what you want. So it's okay if they feel a little bit tight, just make sure you've got that little bit of toe space at the front. Apart from that, they should be giving you a nice secure feel. Definitely consider this boot if you've got high or wide feet, because the leather again is going to really work with you and help you out in that situation. The launch colorway for the new King uses a combination of classic and modern colors. The base color of the boot is this navy blue, while there is white for the trademark Puma form stripe, and there's this additional lime green trim that you see here, and that's on the border of the form stripe. Also, if I can twist my foot unnaturally, it's on the heel, and it's also on the eyelets around here, and on the end of the laces where they've used the branding King with it. We've got two King logos on here. You've got one on the sock liner, which I'll pop out later for you, and another one on the top of the boot right here. All in all, this colorway combines both a classic and modern design in one for a pretty decent launch colorway. Now this King leather boot will take some break-in time. Like any leather boot, this upper will mold to your foot over time, giving you that increased comfort, and they're just going to get better the longer you wear them. Now this boot, as I was saying before, may feel a little bit tight right out of the box, but it should loosen up after a few sessions. It's just going to start feeling really good on your feet. So the K leather offered on the King 2 is the highest grade leather on the market, similar to something like the leather you see on the Tiempo Legend 5s. This additional forefoot stitching here just gives you that bit of extra protection on your foot and gives a bit more structure to the leather in the toe area. Right out of the box, you can just see the quality of this material, and that is definitely a trademark feature of the King. In terms of touch and feel for the ball, it just feels like it's the perfect thickness for delivering that natural and classic touch that you're looking for in a boot like this. So let's talk a little bit about the tongue on the King 2. This is where I think Puma have gone a little strange. Can't really say I agree with what they've done. This is a synthetic tongue, which is a bit strange on a leather boot. Obviously they're trying to reduce the weight a little bit. Personally, I would have preferred them to put in a leather tongue there. Now they've tried to give you a few little extra bits of protection, even though this tongue is very thin. They've added in just little foam kind of pockets. They're at the top there, and then in between the laces as they come through here, they're here, here and here, and then in these green stripes that run across, there's just a little bit of foam in there too. I kind of think it's a bit pointless. They should have stuck with a leather tongue. You're not going to get the same protection on the top of your foot that you would get if somebody kind of stands on your foot. If you had the leather tongue there, that I think would have been a much better idea. There's these what look like little perforations here, but they don't actually run all the way through, so they're more for show than actually any function or weight reducing there. So yeah, Puma, I wish that you put a proper tongue in this. Featured on the King boot for the first time is this EverFit cage. Now it's designed to lock down your foot into the shoe for increased performance. At first when you wear it, the cage itself can feel a bit tight around the midfoot region, but it's easily adjusted by tightening or loosening your laces. Now as you can see, the eyelet part here that it runs through, you might be able to spot the slightly brighter green poking through these holes, and that's where this actually is running down. And this means that when you tighten your laces, you are tightening the EverFit cage manually, so it gives you even more of a wraparound and lock into the boot than the EverFit cage that you see on the EverSpeed or the EverPower. The cage is though made of synthetic materials, so that's reducing the reputation of the King of being a complete leather boot a little bit, but performance wise it probably is a nice little bonus to have an even better fit on your foot, even though you are sacrificing this little area here. It's not as if you're really doing a lot of control with the ball. It will be interesting to see how when passing the ball comes off this area, but we'll find out that later on in the test. So there's nothing new with the King 2 Soleplate. I feel a bit disappointed. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. If the original Soleplate was good, then why change it? But always like to see something a bit different. And this generation of the King has the same as we saw on the 2013. So you're going to recognize this. You've got these three conical studs here, and then the rest of these kind of square shaped studs that you've got on the King. The Soleplate is going to give you pretty good pressure distribution. As I say, there's nothing wrong with it before, so you should find it pretty suitable this time. And this goes in with the external heel counter, and the Soleplate kind of merges up to it. They're two separate parts, but merges in design-wise up into that. So yeah, nothing spectacular to mention about it. It just is the old Soleplate. So the King 2 now combines both leather and synthetic materials for the boot. Especially with the stripping of the tongue, it means that we're looking at a boot that weighs roughly 275 grams, which is a pretty decent weight for a K-leather football boot. Featuring a relatively thick upper and the stitching on the forefoot, you're going to get very good levels of protection, especially around the back of the heel here. This is really nice and thick. Like any leather boot, the leather will thin over time, reducing your protection a little bit, but if you're going to take care of these, they'll take care of you. These should probably last you about 2 seasons if you do look after them properly. They could even last you a lot longer. There's a few little synthetic materials you're going to need to figure out cleaning this area properly, but they'll probably last you as long as, if not longer, than the previous generation of the 2013 King. So the Puma King is a pretty timeless boot. I don't necessarily approve of the flashy colours with it. I think that Puma should treat it a bit like the Copa Mundial or the Premier. I think you get a lot more use out of it that way. It'd be interesting to see how players take to wearing the EverFit cage. We're wondering whether you're going to perhaps find like the likes of Mikel Arteta and Yaya Toure switching back to these from the EverPower. We'll wait and see. The leather is really fantastic, so if you're a leather boot wearer, then you definitely want to consider these over, say, the Adipures, the 11 Pros, the Tiempo Legend 5s, even the Copa Mundials or the Premiers. So something for you to consider when you're looking at your next boot. Main thing to consider is this EverFit cage, whether you like the synthetic wrap around. I definitely think it gives a really great tight fit on your feet, so that is something for you to consider. Anyway, that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. So Blake's asking me, would I buy these boots? I definitely think they are a pro level boot and they will suit some of you. They're not really for me. Just those few extra little things, like I would prefer some more leather in the tongue here if I was going to wear a leather boot. I'm not convinced by this EverFit cage. It's a nice feature, but yeah, I would just go with a pure leather boot if I was going to go leather. I'd also probably decide to have them in black rather than in this colorway. That's what I think that Puma should do with the King. They should go black with this little splash of white on the form stripe and treat them like the Copa Mundial, the Premier. So no, I wouldn't buy these. A few little tune-ups though, and they would be an awesome boot for me. And even as they are right now, you might decide they're the boot for you. Thanks for taking the time to watch our review of the Puma King 2. As you're probably aware, these are pretty exclusive. Look at these, they're out this week, so do me a favor and make sure you drop a like on this video right now. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We've got lots more boot reviews and tests and competitions too, so you might be able to win yourself a pair of boots, but you got to be subscribed to do so. All right guys, thanks very much. Go enjoy your football.